Shanks went to Shimatsuki village, in which Zoro grew up, instead of going to the Fuchsia village where he met Luffy in the original timeline? Well, I would say this would totally change Zoro's destiny. First things first, we all know Zoro as a kid was nothing like Luffy. In my opinion, Luffy was just a normal kid with a common lifestyle. I mean, he has everything, dude. He got the greatest grandfather in the entire series and got 2 brothers beside him. But Zoro didn't grow up like that. After Queen's death, he was totally broke. He went through a very hard time and trained like a beast. But things are going to change now. While he was training as an emo kid, a red-haired man comes to him and says, "You got some guts, boy, but this training is not for a kid like you. You should be playing with your friends at the age of this." Zoro literally went on his anger mode and started screaming at Shanks and his crew, saying, "There is nothing left for me. To survive in this world, I need to be the best of the best. I will defeat Hawkeye Mihawk and become the world's strongest man." Shanks was not silent as well. He tells Zoro that he is a beast, and to defeat that beast, you need to become a beast as well. He gives Zoro a lot of motivation. After spending a lot of time with red hair pirates, Zoro was so inspired by them and wanted to join their crew. Zoro follows Shanks secretly and reaches a nearby bar. Shanks notices him and offers him an orange juice. Zoro gladly accepts the drink and says he wants to join their crew. Shanks laughs and tells him that he is too young for the adventures. While they both were busy arguing with each other, suddenly, a random pirate arrives at the cafe and asks for the beer. As Shanks and his crew purchased every stock over there, the worker at the cafe says, "Sorry, but the drinks you were asking for, they are unfortunately out of stock." Shanks offers the last drink which he has to the pirate. The pirate wantedly breaks the bottle on the ground and confronts Shanks and his crew and leaves from there, abusing everyone. As expected, Shanks' crew and Shanks himself took the situation as fun and started laughing as hell. This leaves Zoro in a big confusion. Shanks explains to Zoro that fight is not a solution for everything. Zoro cuts off Shanks and starts walking away. Shanks grabs Zoro's head to stop. But guess what? His arm started stretching like my grandfather's kitten. Lucky runs to Zoro and asks Zoro by showing a rough sketch of gum fruit that, "Did you eat this fruit by any chance?" Zoro nods his head vertically. This leaves everyone into chaos. Shanks explains it's no ordinary fruit, and you are going to lose your swimming abilities as well. But Zoro didn't care much about this, unlike Luffy in the original series, as Zoro's goal was very different, and he has nothing to do with his swimming abilities. Shanks has already understood that the gum fruit has chosen his successor, and he smiles slightly and gives him the straw hat, and accepts the proposal of Zoro to join their crew. You see, Zoro is nothing like Luffy. In the original series, Shanks saw a potential in Luffy that he can make a great crew and be the greatest captain. But in this case, he saw Zoro as a sad and depressed kid from the beginning. So, he doesn't want to leave him now. So, he instantly changes his mind and happily accepts Zoro as his brother. After being 11 years with the red-haired pirates, now Zoro's age turned to 19. Same age when Luffy sets his sail. In this timeline, Shanks is a complete stranger to Luffy. Luffy joins his brother Ace's path, and as they promise they will be together as long as they live, Luffy joins the Whitebeard crew, just as Ace, and becomes the 3rd Division commander. Now, Luffy and Ace both are together. They make their names reach higher. That Sabu also reads the newspaper earlier this time and remembers his whole memories of childhood. He instantly takes permission from Dragon to leave the Revolutionary Army and join their brothers. Dragon approves his permission, as his own kid Luffy can reunite with his other brother as well. This leaves the current generation into the badass generation ever existed. Now Sabu is the 4th Division commander of Whitebeard Pirates. This makes Whitebeard unstoppable. This time Ace goes to defeat Blackbeard along with his 2 brothers, aka Luffy and Sabu. This chaos ends the career of Blackbeard Pirates. This time, they successfully destroys Blackbeard, and this takes the revenge on behalf of Whitebeard. So, as Blackbeard is dead now, there is no one to capture Ace. Now, the ultimate goal of Luffy, Sabu, and Ace is to make Whitebeard as the Pirate King. But on the other side of the story, Zoro wants to see Shanks as the Pirate King. Now there are very few competitors left in the race of becoming the Pirate King, as these 2 individual crews took many big shots, like Kaido, Big Mom, Kid, Law, and the entire worst generation. Now the 2 pirates' crews want to face each other and eliminate one of the crew. The ultimate battle begins now. One of the largest crew, the Whitebeard Pirates, faces the red-haired pirates. Everything was right for Whitebeard, as he had the most dangerous trio on his side. But the worst thing for the red-haired pirates was, they were less in the numbers, and even the strongest members, like Lucky Ben and Yasopp, are also likely to lose in the hands of Luffy's team. When everything was about to end, we hear the drums of liberation, which means the true power of the Gum Gum fruit had been awakened by the King Zoro by mixing his three-sword style with the combination of the limitless power of to turn the imagination into reality. He instantly starts to play with the Whitebeard and his crew, which in the end leads the red-haired pirates to the upper hand. Now Shanks directly goes for Whitebeard, and Zoro on the other side goes for Sabu, Luffy, and Ace. Unexpectedly, the trio was trying very hard to counter the attacks of Zoro, but in the end, they couldn't bear the power of the sun Nika. This gives Zoro the victory by defeating the deadliest trio Luffy, Ace, and Sabu. And after intense battle of Whitebeard, the pain on his heart starts to kick again, as Shanks' haki is far more greater than him. When Shanks was about to finish Whitebeard, Ace interrupts Shanks and accepts their defeat. This war has now come to an end. Luffy gives a heartwarming shake hand to Zoro and says, "You are very powerful, my friend. I'm glad I fought the greatest battle in my life." This makes Zoro very happy. And Zoro tells Shanks that the time has arrived. The time to defeat the Hawkeye Mihawk. The red-haired pirates take Zoro to Mihawk to fulfill his dream. Zoro first time sees Mihawk. He gives a deadly smile by sensing Mihawk's ultimate conqueror's haki. But after defeating Luffy, Ace, and Sabu single-handedly, Zoro's confidence was equal to his opponent Mihawk. Mihawk makes his first move, a massive strike which makes Zoro very critical, and Zoro here starts to fight him back, but none of his attacks help him. With every sword swing Mihawk makes, every shrink was so perfect and deadly that even the climate was changing due to his power levels. The mountains nearby start breaking. Zoro totally loses his hope and starts to faint, but it's the time to use his Gear 5. He instantly switches his form to Sun Nika when he was about to lose. He now can dodge every attack of Mihawk. Zoro starts to strike him as well, which he failed to do earlier. Mihawk couldn't keep up with his speed and power now. Here comes the final strike from Zoro, which literally takes the right hand of Mihawk. Now, with a single arm, Mihawk couldn't fight at all, so he gives the victory to Zoro. Zoro has now successfully become the world's greatest swordsman, which was his dream since he was 10 years old. Guess what? The whole world was only talking about one thing. Everyone was looking up to the red-haired pirates now. Shanks feels that this is the right to go to the Lagu Tail and collect the treasure One Piece. They have faced many distractions from the admirals, the other pirates, the 5 elders, and Emu. Cracking up every single situation, Shanks finally reaches the Laugh Tail with the help of his right hand, man Zoro. I know this story sounds so crazy because everything which Luffy achieves in the original series has now been achieved by Shanks. This shows us how important Zoro is for the Straw Hats and Luffy. So, without Zoro, I think Luffy would never reach the Laugh Tail in my opinion. So, what's next? I think Shanks has now fulfilled his dream, and now he goes to the government and surrenders himself, just like his ex-captain Gull, D. Roger. This leaves the world upside down. The execution of Shanks takes place now, and surprisingly, he was happy with it too. So, he can meet Roger in the afterlife and tell him that he has successfully found the treasure which was hidden by Roger. Before the execution, everyone starts screaming, "Where is the One Piece now?" Shanks exactly smiles like Roger and says that he did not hide it. Like Roger, but he has handed it over to his successor Zoro. Man, this is literally crazy. I mean, Zoro doesn't even know which one is left direction and which one is right. Will anyone catch him and grab the One Piece? I think it's a big no, because even Zoro doesn't know where he is going around. A big thanks to his navigation skills, so that no one, literally no one, can find him. And here's how One Piece is going to end if Shanks met Zoro instead of Luffy. I hope you all enjoyed the funny ending of this alternative storyline. But Zoro having the One Piece is very crazy in my opinion. Hit that like button if you have enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this one.